Welcome back to Old Charles. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that almost every American has seen, but few have really looked at. It's the one with the handsome, facing left portrait, the one that's been languishing in junk drawers, old jars, and maybe even your car's cup holder. That's right, we're talking about the 1974 Kennedy half dollar. I get questions about this coin all the time. Alex, I found this 1974 half dollar. Is it rare? Is it valuable? Should I run to the bank? Well, folks, grab your magnifying glasses and your coffee, because we are about to unpack everything you need to know about the value, the varieties, and the history of the 1974 half dollar. Let's get into it. To understand any coin, we have to start with its story. The Kennedy half dollar was born out of tragedy. Just weeks after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in November 1963, the U.S. Mint acted with incredible speed to create a new design to honor the fallen president. They chose the beloved half-dollar denomination to replace the Benjamin Franklin design. The chief engraver, Gilroy Roberts, adapted his presidential portrait medal for the obverse, the head side, and assistant engraver Frank Gasparo adapted the presidential seal for the reverse, the tail side. The first Kennedy halves were struck in early 1964 and were made of 90% silver. That's a key point we'll come back to, but due to rising silver prices and coin hoarding, the composition changed after 1964. From 1965 to 1970, the coins were made of a 40% silver-clad composition, but these were only minted for special mint sets and not for general circulation. By 1974, the half dollar was purely a circulating coin, and its composition was the same as it is today, a clad coin, with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to an inner core of pure copper. So, no silver. This was a workhorse coin, not a precious metal investment. Over 201 million from Philadelphia and another 79 million from Denver. Fes. Billion, but for a half dollar, these are huge figures. This immediately tells us that a standard, circulated 1974 or 1974 D half dollar is extremely common, but wait. There's a third mint mark, and this is where things get interesting, the San Francisco Mint. In 1974, the S mint mark doesn't denote a regular circulation strike. It was used for two special types of coins. 1. Proof coins *. These are specially made for collectors, with mirrored backgrounds and frosted designs. They come in those fancy plastic cases you see in mint sets. 2. Silver proof coins *. This is the big one. In 1974, the U.S. Mint resumed production of 40% silver proof coins, a practice they had stopped after 1970. Let's start with the coin you're most likely to find, the regular circulation strike. That if you have a 1974 or 1974 D half dollar that's been in circulation, it has scratches, where on Kennedy's hair and the eagle's breast. Maybe it's a little dirty. Its value is, I'm sorry to say, face value. 50 cents. These coins are so common that you can still get them from the bank in rolls today. They are worth exactly what they say they are worth, half a dollar. So, no, that worn 1974 half dollar is not paying for your next vacation. Now, what if you have a brand new, shiny, uncirculated coin? Maybe it's been sitting in an old bank roll since 1974. A coin in brilliant uncirculated, MS-60 to MS-63, condition is worth a small premium, but not much. We're talking about $1 to $3. Higher-end uncirculated examples, MS-65 and above, can be worth $5 to $15, but you have to remember, grading costs money, so for a single coin, it's often not worth it to get it professionally graded. The bottom line for the P and D mint coins, unless it's in absolutely pristine condition, it's not a big money coin. Okay, now for the part that gets collectors excited. The S mint coins. First, the regular clad proof. These were sold in proof sets. They are beautiful, but they are made of the same copper nick. Dollar, in its original packaging, is typically worth $3 to $5. If you break it out of the cellophane, it's worth even less. The 1974 S silver proof. Remember I mentioned the 40% silver composition? This is it. And you can easily tell the difference. Look at the edge, see that? No copper line. A regular clad coin has a very distinct brown copper line sandwiched in the middle. The silver proof has a solid silvery edge because its core is not copper, but a mix of silver and copper. So, what is a 1974 silver proof $half worth? This coin's value is tied directly to its silver content, also known as its melt value. Let's do the math. The coin contains 0.1479 troy ounces of pure silver. When silver is at, say, $25 per ounce, the melt value of this coin is about $3.70. But it's a proof coin, so it has a numismatic premium on top of that. In its original proof set packaging, a 1974 silver proof $half is generally worth $8 to $15, depending on the condition of the coin and the set. If silver prices skyrocket, so will the base value of this coin. But Alex, I hear you saying, what about errors? I heard there's a double die out there. You are correct. For the true treasure hunter, the world of errors and varieties is where a common coin can become a $1,000 coin. The most famous and valuable variety for the 1974 $half is the 1974 D double die obverse. On this variety, the doubling is most prominent on the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date. It's not ware or machine doubling, it's a true double die, created from a mismade hub at the mint. This error is rare and highly sought after. So, what's it worth? A circulated example of the 1974 DDDO can be worth $200 to $500. And if you're lucky enough to have one in mint state condition, you're looking at $1,000 or more. So, if you have a 1974 D, get out that loop and check the lettering and date carefully. Other, more minor errors exist, like repunched mint marks or off-center. 1974 D ***$1 to $15. Nice to have, but not a retirement fund. 1974 clad proof $3 to $5. A beautiful, affordable collector piece. 1974 silver proof $8 to $15 plus. The silver content gives it a solid base value. 1974 D double die obverse $*$200 to $1,000 plus. The jackpot. So, the 1974 $half is a fascinating piece of modern American coinage. While it's not a rare coin for the most part, it represents a specific era and has a couple of hidden gems that make the hunt worthwhile. The U.S. $half, a 50-cent piece, has a history that is a microcosm of America itself. It reflects the nation's political shifts, artistic tastes, economic booms and busts, and its mourning. No coin tells this story more powerfully than the one that bears the portrait of John F. Kennedy. A more mature, neoclassical design by John Reich, depicting liberty wearing a cap. A long-running design by Christian Gobrecht, featuring liberty seated on a rock, holding a shield and a pole with a liberty cap. This design saw the country through the Civil War. Named for its designer, chief engraver Charles E. Barber, this coin featured a stylized head of liberty. Like other Barber coinage, it was often criticized for being uninspired. This is considered one of the most beautiful U.S. coins ever minted. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, it depicts liberty striding confidently toward the dawn, draped in the American flag. Its artistic merit is so renowned that its design was later resurrected for the American Silver Eagle bullion coin. In 1948, the Benjamin Franklin $half replaced the Walking Liberty. Designed by John R. Sinek, it featured a portrait of Franklin on the obverse and the Liberty Bell on the reverse. This was a conscious choice to honor a founding father and a symbol of American independence. However, its run would be tragically cut short. The story of the modern $half is inextricably linked to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. The public and the were desperate for a way to memorialize the young, charismatic president. Within days, Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts and Assistant Engraver Frank Gasparo were tasked with creating a new $half design. They adapted their existing inaugural metal designs for the coin. The decision to replace the Franklin $half was made with unprecedented speed. The first Kennedy $half, released in early 1964, were struck in 90% silver. The public was captivated. The coin was a numismatic and national sensation. People hoarded them as both a tribute and a silver treasure. This hoarding was so intense that it contributed to a national coin shortage. The hoarding of silver coins, not just halves, but also dimes and quarters, became unsustainable. The U.S. was moving away from silver in its circulating coinage due to rising bullion prices. The Coinage Act of 1965 eliminated silver from most circulating coins. The Kennedy half was reduced to a 40% silver-clad composition, but these were largely sold only in special mint sets. For general circulation, the half-dollar became the coin we know today, a copper-nickel-clad coin with no silver content. The 1974 half-dollar sits firmly in this modern, non-silver era. It was a common, mass-produced circulating coin, with over 280 million struck across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Its value shifted from intrinsic, silver, to purely face value and collectability. While still minted for circulation, the half-dollar has largely disappeared from everyday use. Vending machines don't accept it, and public familiarity is low. Today, its primary role is for collectors. It is minted each year in circulating quality, but also in special proof and uncirculated sets for collectors. The U.S. Mint occasionally issues 90% silver-proof versions, harkening back to the original 1964 coin, but these are sold at a premium to collectors. Since 2002, most half-dollars have been marked NIFC, meaning they are struck specifically for